designed a regulated DC power supply which produces two outputs that can be varied from positive 1.25 volts to positive 15 volts and negative 1.25 volts to negative 15 volts.
The main objective of this project is to design and develop a variable regulated DC power supply with an output range of positive 1.25 volts to positive 15 volts and negative 1.25 volts to negative 15 volts. Also, the proponents set the following objectives in order to achieve the required output. To calculate the values of the proponents to be used in the power supply. Second is design an unregulated power supply by using a bridge-type rectifier and pi-type RC filter to eliminate excess voltage and control the ripple factor. Another is to regulate the circuit using LM317 for the positive DC output and LM337 for the negative DC output. To test the computed values in multisim and effectiveness of the components during actual simulation. Lastly, to test the effectiveness and efficiency of the power supply through powering a device with complicated circuitry.
Wait. Okay. Sagad mo. Sagad mo pa. Yan. Bang ulit. Up. Balik mo pababa.
Up.
To build our power supply, these are the materials that we have used. A 15-015 center tap transformer with a step-down voltage, a fuse that is 0.5 ampere, one N4007 diode that has a PIB of 1000 volts and IFSM of 30 amperes. Resistors that has a value of 1 ohm, 3.3 ohms, 25 ohms, 220 ohms, then a capacitor that has a value of 4700 microfarad, 25 volts. A regulator that is LM337 for negative and LM317 for positive. A 1 k ohm potentiometer to vary our voltage. Voltmeter to show the varied voltage. An output jack where the appliance will be connected. A power supply outlet where there is a fuse, switch, and male plug. A female plug that is to be connected to the male plug. PCB where we print our power supply connections.
The power supply has an input voltage of 220 volts RMS at 60 Hz and is converted into unregulated output DC voltage of 20 volts with positive and negative 5% error. The power supply is sought to have a less than 3% ripple factor and the maximum load for it is 500 milliamperes. For this to be possible, we follow the block diagram of the power supply. First, we used a transformer. The group used a center tap step-down transformer. Then, it is followed by a rectifier. The rectifier is then connected into two separate surge resistors. And after it is the filter. The filter that we used is the pi-type RC filter. After the filter is the arb leader. And after it is the regulator. For the positive output, we used LM317 regulator. And for the negative output, we used LM337. Both regulators use two resistors, wherein one resistor is used to set the output voltage and the other resistor used in potentiometer which adjusts the output voltage.
speaker is defined as an electrical device used to make sound or music louder. It requires 5 voltage and has a 0.04 voltage drop when connected in the power supply.
These days I haven't been sleeping, staying up playing back myself leaving. On your birthday passed and I didn't call.
So now we are going to use a telephone. A telephone is a system used to send speech or data over distances that functions as the transmitter and receiver. It is connected in the power supply through banana jack. It has a requirement of 6 volts and 0.5 ampere, and it produces a 0.4 volts voltage drop. When the telephone is plugged, it does not connect to a network, and when it is plugged, it connects to the network.
After the group has created a positive-negative DC power supply, the proponents recommend the following. The sign calculation is a must to prevent the multiple changing of components, or what we call the trial and error. If you will use a pi RC filter, a lower value of a resistor should be used to get a high ampere rating. In the regulated part of the power supply, use a fixed value of resistor instead of a trimmer for the output to be more stable. Make sure that it is fixed because when the potentiometer is moved, it is affected. Know how the breadboard works, its connection of holes whether it is in series or parallel. Search and understand what the 3 pins of regulator and potentiometer are for. For the casing of the power supply, it is advisable to have a lightweight case for it to be more convenient. For the PCB parts placement, the components that are the same should be placed together because it is more formal to look.
The proponents therefore conclude that a regulated circuit is designed to automatically maintain a stable voltage level that an unregulated power supply cannot offer. Thus, the component values depend on the computation made. Any mistake in designing such circuit may defeat the purpose of coming up with the expected values of voltage in the regulated power supply. The proponents of the project has made a design of an unregulated power supply with the help of a bridge-type rectifier and a pi-type RC filter. Therefore, the excess voltage was eliminated and we were able to control the ripple factor. With the use of LM317 for the positive output and LM337 for the negative output, the proponents have tested the efficiency and accuracy of the power supply in the actual simulation. Thus, it is effective since the proponents were able to make the device work with a small amount of voltage drop.